before anything else, take a moment to notice the tone of the voice inside you right now. Not the words, just the tone. Is it rushed, skeptical, encouraging, neutral, tired, curious? You don't need to change it. Simply noticing the tone begins today's work. Let your body settle into stillness as much as it comfortably can, feeling gravity supporting you, reminding you that you don't have to hold yourself up through effort alone. Allow the eyes to close if they haven't already, or soften your focus, and let attention gently withdraw from the outer world. Today is about the way the mind explains reality to itself, the ongoing commentary that quietly shapes emotion, confidence, and behavior. As the breath finds its own rhythm, recognize that inner dialogue is not something you invented intentionally. It is learned, shaped by repetition, reinforcement, culture, and survival strategies. The mind learned how to talk to you long before you had awareness of choice. This realization alone begins to soften self-judgment. There's nothing wrong with you for having a critical or pessimistic inner voice. It is a habit, not an identity. Bring attention now to the stream of self-talk as it naturally appears. Notice how the mind narrates experiences, evaluates effort, predicts outcomes, and explains past events. You might hear phrases that sound familiar, well-rehearsed, almost automatic. See if you can recognize patterns in how challenges are explained. Some explanations might lean toward blame, either of yourself or others. Some may assume permanence, as if things will always be this way. Some may feel personal, global, or final. These explanatory habits shape emotional reality more than circumstances themselves. Today, you are not fighting the voice or silencing it. You are learning to reframe it gently, honestly, and realistically. Feel how the body responds when a harsh explanation arises. Notice subtle tightening, sinking, or bracing. Then notice how the body responds when an explanation is more balanced or compassionate. The body is a sensitive feedback system, constantly informing you which narratives support resilience and which drain it. As you continue breathing, imagine the inner dialogue as a narrator standing slightly behind you rather than inside you. This small shift in perspective allows space. You are listening rather than merging. From this position, you can begin to introduce new language, not through force, but through choice. Recall a recent challenge or difficulty, something mild enough to feel safe revisiting. Notice how the mind initially explains it. Perhaps it says you weren't good enough, that things never work out, or that you should have known better. Don't argue with this voice. Instead, acknowledge it as one learned interpretation among many possible ones. Now gently ask, what is another explanation that is equally true but less punishing? Not falsely positive, just balanced. Maybe the challenge reflects learning, timing, or complexity rather than failure. Maybe it reflects effort rather than inadequacy. Allow this alternative explanation to form quietly. Notice how it feels in the body. This is reframing, not denial. It does not erase facts, it changes meaning. Meaning determines emotional impact. As this understanding settles, realize that optimism is not pretending everything is perfect. It is choosing explanations that support agency, growth, and steadiness. The subconscious learns through repetition and emotional tone. Each time you choose a balanced interpretation, neural pathways shift slightly. Over time, the default narrative changes. Bring awareness now to the future-oriented dialogue, the predictions the mind makes. Notice how often it forecasts difficulty, rejection, or failure as a way to prepare or protect. Thank the mind for its intention to keep you safe. Protection does not have to come through pessimism anymore. Introduce a new internal response that says, I can handle whatever arises, even if it's uncomfortable. This statement does not promise ease. It affirms capability. Capability builds confidence more reliably than blind positivity. Let this new phrase sink in, not as a mantra, but as a felt truth. Feel how it steadies the nervous system. Reframing works best when it feels believable. Now shift attention to self-referential language, the way you describe who you are. Notice if the mind uses fixed labels, such as always, never, or this is just how I am. These words freeze identity. Gently loosen them. Replace rigid labels with descriptions of behavior, context, or process. Instead of I am bad at this, notice how I am still learning this. Instead of I always mess things up, notice that sometimes things don't go as planned. Language shapes identity. Flexible language creates psychological breathing room. As you practice this internally, imagine future moments where the old self-talk appears and the reframed version follows naturally, like a second voice that offers perspective. You are not suppressing the first voice, you are balancing it. This balance reduces inner conflict. The subconscious prefers harmony over domination. As you continue resting in this state, recognize that emotional neutrality is often more powerful than forced positivity. Neutral explanations keep energy available for action instead of draining it through self-criticism. Neutrality says, this is what's happening, and I can work with it. Let that attitude permeate your inner world. Feel how it creates calm confidence rather than pressure. Bring attention once more to the present moment, noticing breath, body, and awareness together. Observe how the inner dialogue sounds now compared to the beginning of the session. It may not be silent, but it may feel less tight, less absolute. This is progress. Change happens through familiarity with new mental responses, not through perfection. The subconscious is already learning that alternative narratives are available and safe. Before concluding, plant a simple intention, not as a demand, but as a direction. When challenges arise, I will notice how I explain them. That noticing alone begins reframing automatically. Trust that you don't need to remember everything consciously. The mind learns through experience. Each balanced explanation strengthens emotional resilience and positive mindset naturally. As you gently return attention outward, carry this understanding with you. How you explain life to yourself is not fixed. It is a skill being retrained. And with each compassionate reframe, you are shaping a mind that supports you rather than undermines you, calmly, consistently, and with growing self-trust. As you move forward, notice how subtle shifts in internal language ripple into daily life, how interactions, decisions, and even small setbacks are experienced differently. Each moment becomes an opportunity to practice gentle reframing, to observe the mind's habitual commentary without being swept away. Celebrate small victories of awareness, a moment when you paused before accepting a negative interpretation, a time when a balanced thought replaced automatic criticism. Over days and weeks, these small acts accumulate, forming a resilient mental habit. Allow gratitude for your own capacity to learn, adapt, and respond wisely to deepen. This is not effortful change. It is gradual, natural evolution of mind and heart.